Hi friends, Sergeant Host Eric here at the Type Police. Let me begin this episode by saying that, by and large, when I do these videos, I've not seen this people's stuff before. So sometimes I'll preview a few seconds of it or a minute of it or something. And additionally, I want to say that usually I have not seen any of the person's videos before, as I indicated, at all. It's the first video of theirs I've ever watched. There are some exceptions, however. I had seen a video too, or chunks of a video anyway, by the Coffee Girls before. At least I certainly knew of their existence. I had seen some David Superpowers videos before. I'd seen some C.S. Joseph stuff before. And I've seen some of this guy's stuff before. And I didn't know what type he claims to be, but somebody in the comments says he claims to be an ENTJ. So I'm going to take that as truth, even though I haven't verified it. And assume that that's what, in fact, he positions himself as. Having seen a couple of his videos before, I come in with a little bit of preconception, but it's been a while since I've watched anything of his. And I previewed about 30 seconds of this video kind of accidentally because it launched, when I opened it. And so, anyway, I wanted to throw out all that preface for this one because I'm going to try to do a good job this time of making sure, not that I usually don't, but I'm just saying, this time I'm going to try to be careful because I think the distinction here is going to be required is between ESTJ and ENTJ. And that one is more, so we've got more of a more specific task here than normal, I think, in some regards. Let's proceed forward without any further nonsense. Here's the song, and then we'll start the show. Try as you might, you just can't hide, 'cause you're mistyped. And I've been waiting to pull you over all night. Type police. Type police, please pull that guy over. He says he's INTP, but seems extroverted, sensing to me. I think he's ESFP or Type Police. Welcome back to Type Police. I obviously have this window a little bit too big. That's what it means when it makes that, processor overload sound, Alright, here we go. Let's see about this fellow. Bryant Chambers is his name. He's what you might call a fixture. A fixture in the personality type YouTube community.
Your big six personality traits are honesty and humility, the H, emotionality, the E, extraversion, the X, agreeableness, the A, conscientiousness, the C, and openness to new experience, or the O, or HEXACO. If you go to hexaco.org, you can take the test. It'll tell you what you are, where you are, right? Honesty.
Citation for non-standard use of terms. Okay. Honesty and humility that comprises so many different things. Humility can manifest in a few different ways. It could manifest as good FE of somebody who's actually very proud. It could manifest as Eeyore-like negativity. It could manifest as actual humility that's born of some sort of great spiritual work that one does, or actual humility because of one's experiences. One's been in the presence of something that makes one feel small by comparison enough. So if you, for example, Amadeus, that movie, has Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and somebody, Soliari, are the two characters in it. And Soliari makes this one song or composition. Mozart's like, oh, I like that. You could improve it by going like this, and makes it like a million times better. And then Solieri just, at that point, feels inadequate, and that you could say that he's experiencing humility there. But the point is, understanding humility and honesty as one thing is insane because it represents such a massive cluster of stuff. But of course, it's natural that I would butt heads immediately with an ENTJ. So it's quite possible that he's an ENTJ and he may go home free.
In humility, I think, is very simple. It means you're a truth teller, right? You are unwilling to take advantage of somebody for your own personal gain by manipulating them or being misleading or dishonest. Emotionality, I'm actually going to read it so I don't have to try to do it justice. Emotionality says persons with very high scores in emotionality scale experience fear of physical dangers, experience anxiety in response to life stresses, feel a need for emotional support from others, and feel empathy and sentimental attachments with others. By the way, I score very low in the E, or lower than the, very low compared to the average person. Right? Conversely, persons with very low scores on the scale are not deterred by the prospect of physical harm. I was a soldier, makes sense. Feel little worry even in stressful situations. Same thing. Have little need to share their concerns with others. I do that to them.
All right, I want to take this test. I guess I'm gonna type police him first, but I really want to take this test. So let's find out the type police thing first.
Fault, one of them. And feel emotionally detached from others. It's pretty accurate. All right, extraversion, and I like this one because it doesn't say you're an introvert or an extrovert. It just measures how extroverted you are, and that what we call extroversion is actually slightly different than what we think it is. Extroversions, persons with very high scores in extroversion feel positively about themselves, self-esteem. That's where it starts. All right, feel confident when leading or addressing groups of people. I love public speaking. I'm also very high in extroversion. Enjoy social gatherings and interactions. That's where I kind of come down a little bit, depending on the gathering, and experience positive feelings of enthusiasm and energy. Conversely, persons who are low in extroversions consider themselves unpopular. They feel awkward when they're the center of attention. They're indifferent to social activities and feel less lively and optimistic than others do. That's a very different description than you get energized when you're around people.
I find that challenging in a good way. Like, it's such a controversial notion that introverts are somehow worse than extroverts. And that's what's implied there, right? That it views extroversion and introversion as an FE scale thing. If you have active FE, then you're an extrovert. I think that measure of extroversion, though, would seem to deny the introvert's enthusiasm for their own stuff. Like, I feel a lot of enthusiasm doing stuff that's not social a lot of time, and what might generally be considered introverted activities. When I'm working on music, it's very much an introverted activity. Do I feel enthusiastic about sharing it later? Yeah, but my experience of it is one of my more introverted parts of myself. I think of it as such. And why do I consider it introverted? Well, when I'm working on music, everybody needs to leave me alone. I really, unless I'm working with you and asking you to do parts, and then once your parts are done and I got those things in, I need you to leave me alone. And I need to work alone for hours and hours and hours. So, you'd call that introverted. I don't want to be the center of attention at that moment, right? And I don't feel enthusiastic about gathering anything at that moment. And that's the problem with these personality traits things, is that, of course, people are not in possession of traits. They are expressions of processes. And being varies during different periods of your life. If you're choosing frequently to engage in what are generally considered introverted activities, then it's fair to say you're introverted. Now, I do spend a lot of time. There's a reason why they call ENTPs the most introverted extrovert, although I don't think it's accurate. But the reason is because we're doing a lot of projects and stuff. There's no way to say meaningfully that I'm not being introverted during a time period when I'm insisting on being by myself and working on my own thing and don't want anybody to interrupt me and don't want to talk to anybody and all that kind of stuff. It's meaningless to have a word introversion that doesn't conclude that I'm being introverted then. So, if you want to view that as bad social skills, then you're misunderstanding it. And that's the problem with these traits things. So, let's continue on. I can critique his ideas all I want, but the point is I'm supposed to be typing this motherfucker, so let's see what type he is.
People. You get de-energized when you're around people. And neither one of those things is absolutely true, which is why Myers-Briggs bothers the crap out of me, because it's like, you're either introverted or extroverted. It's like, no, you're not. You're just not. Agreeableness versus anger, right? Anger would be the opposite of this.
Let me further explain why he's wrong about this binary of extroversion and introversion. The reason I'm extroverted is because extroversion is not a social skill thing, like he's thinking it is or trying to position it as. It's a relationship attentionally to the world. So, while I might be described as a person as being an introverted person during those periods of time when I'm doing projects, I'm actually being meaningfully extroverted in my attention still. That is to say, I'm working on objects that are external to me in ways that are ideationally generational. It's extroverted because I'm not dealing with my own feelings. I'm not dealing with the sensation of my own body. I'm not dealing with the logical consistency aspects of things. That would be introverted thinking. I'm dealing with the external aspects of things. That is to say, the work on the ideational plane, making moves on the ideational plane, on the turn-based plane of reality rather than on the real-time plane of reality. And I'm using introverted intuition. That's the introverted part of it, is knowing what's good. Knowing what's good is the introverted intuition part of it for me, and the introverted part that makes me, because so much of doing music is knowing what's good and what's working and what's not, and then but then the rest of it is all extroverted. The TE, knowing how to use the app that I'm using to record stuff. The FE, knowing how shit's going to play in conjunction with the NI, knowing what's right about my FE instincts. And the extroverted intuition, doing the ideational work. It's all external to me, so it's extroverted attentionally. So when you say you're an extrovert, it means your default attentional manner is extroverted. And that's why you're misunderstanding what Myers-Briggs should be interpreted as. Forget Myers-Briggs cognitive functions. No, it's not just this energized. You're energized when you're around people, or you're tired out. That is true, though. That's absolutely true. But the reason you're an extrovert or an introvert is because you're awash in your dominant function, and that is either extroverted in its attentional focus or introverted in its attentional focus. So, no, wrong. You're not. I don't think you're going to jail, though. This is textbook ENTP-ENTJ interaction here. He's totally wrong and totally certain about it, and I'm busting his ass. And ENTJs hate ENTPs for this reason exactly, because they think it doesn't matter really if they're right or wrong. I can ignore the TI as long as the shit's useful. Well, in this instance, we're talking about something that is necessarily not useful unless you're correct. Okay, so you're just being useless. I mean, I know this contradicts what I said in the other video recently about people use it however they want. They do use it however they want, but this is stupid. I'm still going to take this test, though. I might even do it in this video. I don't know. Maybe I'll... Let me see how long the test is. This guy's an ENTJ. I don't even... He bugs me so much, he has to be an ENTJ. Look at all this shit, too. Let's connect. You're too ENTJ. Just go away. I wouldn't want you in the squad car. You'd get your ENTJ-ishness all over it. I'll take the test and do that in a different video. I'm done with this guy. Go away, Bryant Chambers. I I don't like your wrongness. It's offensive. Alright? So take that. Try as you might, you just can't hide, 'cause you're mistyped. And I've been waiting to pull you over all night. Type police, type police. Please pull that guy over. He says he's INTP, but seems extroverted, sensing to me